Hello, my name is Dustin Ely. Thank you for joining us for the first episode of Great Things by Goedert Real Estate. Today I'm joined with Tanya and Kerin.
Hi Dusty. Hi everyone.
Today's topic is focused around selling your house and then buying another one. What would you guys say is the greatest hurdle for people that need to sell their home and then buy the next one?
Confidence.
I think confidence is the biggest hurdle. People are concerned that they're not going to be able to do it. But I believe that when they are working with a trusted real estate advisor, that's what we do every day. It's normal for us to sell 3 to 5 properties a month and to move 30 people a year. So if you want to buy a house and sell one at the same time, and it seems like a bit of a challenge, go ahead and give us a call, because what we'll be able to do is just take you through the steps of making that happen very simply. I mean, for us, it's something we do all the time. It's like making an egg. You know, you ask the brain surgeon, oh my goodness, how do you do brain surgery? And they're like, well, it's just what I do every day. So moving one person from one house to another, even though it seems like a challenge because you don't understand how these things work, let's have a conversation. But it's specific to each family how someone would make that transition.
And the market that you're in. It's very specific to the market that you are looking to move to.
So in the market you guys typically handle, which is around Ann Arbor, correct?
Correct.
So in y'all's market, what would you say to someone who needed to sell their house right now before they could buy their next one?
If you had to sell your house before you bought the next one, if you weren't doing a bridge loan, which is an option that, again, your family would want to talk to a mortgage broker about, and that's where you can buy the other house while you still live in one, and then you sell the current house as a mortgage package. But if you're not going to do that and you want to sell the other house first and then move into the next one, I always say to people it's important that they begin with their list of things in order to prepare the house for sale. You know, what do we have to do to get the house ready?
Well, call us first, and then we will come over and we'll help you make a list of the things that we think might need to happen to get your house listed. Sometimes people find a house that they fall in love with and they haven't yet listed their own home. Right now in this market, that makes things hard because things are flying off the market within 1 to 2 to 3 days. Your first step, really, if you're out there looking at all, is to call a lender and talk to us about getting your house listed.
Writing an offer that's contingent on the sale of your property isn't the most desirable offer. And right now, some people are looking at 3 and 4 competing bids, some of them all cash, some of them not contingent on the sale of a home. They can move in any time. So what will happen is someone will say, we will let you stay in your house as long as you need to find your next house. But in the meantime, we will buy this one and we'll close on it in 35 days. It's called a rent back agreement. They will purchase your house from you and then you can rent it back from them.
Okay.
Until it's time to move.
So with that scenario, you'd have all the money that you would need from selling your house to put toward buying your next one while still
Correct.
having a place to stay.
Correct.
Now, do you find that a lot of people put themselves in a position where they don't have a place to stay?
No. We
No?
call that making, like I always say, my one job is my one job as a real estate agent is to make sure that nobody's homeless. That you don't, and I've never made a client homeless unless they wanted to be homeless. Because sometimes people might want to live at their mom's house for a month on her couch just because it's free and she makes really good food. So if that has ever happened, that was intentional. Okay? But no, if you don't want to be homeless, you don't have to be homeless. Like there are options. There are ways that all of these chess pieces can be ordered in your favor. We can create what you need to see in your life to change your life.
And there are specific steps.
Yeah, it's it's hard and you feel uncomfortable when you're trying to transition from one property to the next. It's hard enough to move, and then on top of it, you have negotiations that are continuing through the process.
And there's fear of being homeless.
Yeah.
And that's a real fear, so we would never allow that.
Right. So what I usually tell people is that, real estate is a business of faith and patience. You have to have faith and you need to be patient. The only time I've seen these things not work out the way that they're supposed to work out is when people try to force it and they try to put a square peg into a round hole. You really you're not always in control of the absolute timeline. The timeline is a range. We have to have a little bit of wiggle room there in order that people are allowed to get what it is that they expect. But again, it takes faith and you have to be patient.
And you need to follow specific steps, like call us first. Call us.
If you call us, we can talk to you for free about creating a strategic a strategic marketing plan to sell your current house and buy your next one. As a buyer agents are free. The sellers do have to pay a bit on the seller side to sell the property, but they'll make so much in the sale that it should pay for itself.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to the steps that you guys have mentioned, some of those steps to sell your house and then buy the next, what would you say is the most important step in there?
Getting pre-approved. You have, a lot of people are scared to reach out to a lender because they know that they have blips on their credit and they know that there's things that they need to do, but they don't know exactly how to do them. So you need to think of your lender or a lender that we recommend as a friend that's going to help you through all of that, because they have answers for what am I going to do here? And even if it takes 2 or 3 months for your credit to get where it needs to be, at least you're making steps to get to that point.
So going back to lenders, there's a lot of lenders out there who will help you figure out how to put yourself in a position so that you can get what you need buying the house, correct?
Right. So Tanya just said that it's a business of faith and patience. And so sometimes even if you think that that's the house that you want right now, you sometimes have to be patient and get your ducks in a row before making things happen for yourself.
Let's say someone wanted to get a hold of you guys today to sell their house, and they have a time limit that they need to sell their house right now, and they got to buy their next house right now at the same time. Is that even realistic? Is that something that happens?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, all the time. Depending on your financing, mortgage financing takes between 35 and 45 days. We can usually move someone within a period of 60 days.
And even quicker with cash, if it's a cash
for
transaction.
cash you can move as fast as like 10 or 14 days.
So if you think that you might need to sell your house down the road, it'd be better to get a head start on it instead of cramming yourself into that 40 or 60 day time window, correct?
That's correct. It's always better to give yourself the 3-month, 6-month, 18-month, 2-year window that most people give themselves. They think about it and marinate on it, and then they are ready for it, and we do it in about, if we say 6 months, we could do it as soon as 4 months sometimes. It is normal that a third of our sales though do happen in a 60-day window, and then we have another third of our sales that are people who we've been talking to for 2 years. I always say we're not any pressure, we're just trying to help you get to where you need to be. We don't have to put pressure on you because we're going to be real estate agents for the next 20 years at least. So when you're ready, we'll still be there, however long it takes for you on your family's journey.
So if it is your New Year's Eve resolution this year for 2021 to be homeowners, and you feel that you don't know where to begin, or you feel like you want it now, it's a great time to just reach out to us, because even if it's going to take a little while for you to get to that point, we want to be the ones to talk you through that.
Yeah, you do not have to wait until you're ready to start the mortgage payments and walk through the homes and choose from 3 properties which one you want. You don't have to wait till that. As soon as you're thinking that you're ready to start engaging our real estate services. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, and I've heard that not just here at Goedert Real Estate, but you hear that from almost every real estate agent, that it's important to start early. And even if it's the middle of winter or if it's going into
Especially
winter,
if it's winter,
there are some steps and some tools that would help you be more prepared for when that transaction needs to happen. In Ann Arbor, do you guys have a lot of people who sell and then they buy within Ann Arbor, or do they end up buying someplace else? Like,
So
That's a great question.
that is a really good question. We see it always. Okay, so Ann Arbor is very transitory. So oftentimes people might be leaving the state, or oftentimes people are coming from the neighboring areas like Canton or Van Buren, or they're coming from Oakland County, maybe Farmington Hills, or even Jackson County or Lenawee County. So oftentimes people might be selling a house from a different area and buying a house in Ann Arbor, or they are moving to another state. But we do have the move up and the move down market in Ann Arbor. There is a strong county base. I'd say about a third of our sales are people who are living within Ann Arbor, a third of our sales are people who are coming from other states, and a third of our sales are people who are coming from the neighboring cities. But they might also be coming from a neighboring city, living in an apartment in Ann Arbor, and then realize that you pay a lot more to live in an apartment in Ann Arbor than you do to own a home. It is going to be a bit different for a person who is moving from a high volume neighborhood to a low volume or lower volume area. For example, if you're living in a place where there is a shortage on the market and there aren't a lot of properties for sale, you're going to have a good time selling your house. If you're living in a place where there are, in your neighborhood, 18 homes for sale, then that's going to be a different scenario that we're going to discuss with the listing and the sale of your property.
And so if we're talking about the market right now, it's a great time to list, because as you go through your neighborhood, you probably are noticing that there is not a lot of supply right now.
That's right.
So there's a shortage.
But you don't have to be concerned on the buy side either. You just have to be more aggressive on the buy side. And we can tell you what you can do to present more aggressive offers in order that your offers will be not only respected but accepted. We want to make sure that basically you're just aware, if you're living in an area that has a lot of properties on the market, it's going to take you longer to sell. And if you want to buy in an area that doesn't have a lot of properties on the market, we're going to have to be more aggressive, and the prices are going to be different. So those are just some of the few details that we would need to go more in depth depending on your own personal situation, on your own housing needs.
And a lot of people also might not take the step forward to list their home because they feel that there's too many fixes that need to be made, and they don't know how to start that, or what things might need to be fixed for if someone did want to buy their house with an FHA loan. And so we have a team of people. I know Goedert Real Estate has a team, and I know that the Hayden Hill Group also has a team that will come in and make those fixes for you. We can give you the estimate. We can help you get to that point. So I think a lot of people, it's hard to wrap their head around, how am I going to get all of this done before the sale? And we can come in and kind of help you manage your expectations there.
Yes, and a lot of things you might think need to be fixed are not actually things that need to be fixed for a sale, or that will even earn you money for a sale. So you want us to come over and help you identify the biggest bangs for your buck, the way that you can spend $200 and get a $2,000 return. So call us first before you start fixing things, just to make sure that everything you're fixing is, because we're looking at it with a fresh eye. We're looking at it from a different perspective than you. We might not even see the things that disturb you.
Right. Yeah, you might have not put tape in a certain place, and the line on the paint is messed up in one place, and you always look at that same place in the kitchen, and you're saying, my house won't sell because of that. We just don't want you to get fixated on any small detail that you feel that will keep your house from selling, because we can solve that for you.
Right. And we can be objective.
And there's no perfect house out there. When people are buying a home, unless they're buying a newly constructed home, there's gonna be some character to the house.
Absolutely.
And there's some things that, like you had said before, that you don't need to change or that you might want to change, but it isn't necessarily going to add value to the sale of the home.
Yes, and our visit is free.
Yes.
Coming over for a strategic marketing plan and a look over what you might want a handyman to do, all of that is free. So, I don't want people to be intimidated by price, because we are here to really help people. And whether you use our services or not, we really appreciate an opportunity to be of service and help people, especially in times during Corona. We'll figure out the money on the other end. Right now, we just want to be available to help people out. And it's free for me to have a conversation with anyone.
And some people might feel reserved about trying to sell their house during COVID. We have lots of safety measures, all the safety measures in place. And we provide booties and gloves and face masks and hand sanitizer and all of the things for people that are going to be walking through your home to see it. And we've done many different scenarios with our sellers on their comfort level of how they want people to walk through their home.
We haven't stopped selling properties through Corona. We had a closing the very first day of the lockdown. I was at a closing, and we've had more listings since. So in working with people who are out of the University of Michigan, we do understand the high level of health and safety that is expected by our caring clients. They expect us to behave with care. So we have plenty of experience in that regard also. We haven't had any problems with it at all. So it's been an easier transition than we ever could have imagined.
And we want to help soften that fear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, have you guys had to kind of change how you do some things because of COVID? I know that a lot of real estate agents have kind of turned toward more virtual showings, virtual tours, things like that. Have you guys had a lot of experience in that?
We do it all. Some of our clients want to have a virtual open house. Some of our clients want to have an appointment open house. The open house is by appointment, where there's only 2 families allowed in an environment or a building at any one time. So each family will come in every 15 minutes.
But that's a great question, because even before this, we have been utilizing video to market our listings. And so we were already kind of ahead of that trend before this even happened. So every house that we list, we make a video of, and our YouTube channel is very well visited. And we're very lucky that sometimes our houses that we list are sold before they're even on the market.
And if you're looking for Tanya and Kerin's information for their videos and website, I'll include that information in the description. Well, thank you so much, you guys, for helping me out with understanding the process of selling your house and then buying your next one.
So in conclusion, it's okay. You should list your house and then buy another one. So that's the correct order. It's the easiest order. It can happen other ways, but
it's the least risk.
The least risk. Thank you again for joining me for the first episode of Great Things, brought to you by Goedert Real Estate. My name is Dustin Ely, and today I was joined by Tanya Hill and Kerin Hayden Goedert.
please check out our website at thehaydenhillgroup.com.
And I'll include the link in the description as well.
Thank you, Dustin.
Perfect. Thanks,
All right,
Dusty.
thanks.
Thanks everyone for listening.
Thanks for joining us.